Nick speaking, and welcome to this video. Right, day 30 of the WarbossTae Painting Challenge, and I have now physically finished painting. So I've still got to varnish and put on the tufts of grass, and I'll be doing that on the last day. So definitely going to finish the challenge, and I have to say I'm really happy how they're looking. Put in another good few hours from yesterday's video, so I washed all that bone colour, painted the bone colour and washed that on the grotesques, and I've also gone in and I've highlighted the whole lot. So let's zoom in and have a quick look. I first of all have the warriors in front of me. So yeah, went in, painted all those like stick things on the tabards and in their hairs, or in their hair, yeah, I think that really finishes us off. Like I said yesterday, the tabards now are, they look painted even though they're not physically painted, so it's quite nice to accentuate that tabard without having to go in and paint all of the tabards. So I'm really happy with that, and the little sticks in the hair definitely make the hair pop. So I just went in with the flesh shade, just like on all my other bone colour. Once that was dry, then I went back in and highlighted with the bleached bone colour. So all of the highlights on the orange, on the bone colour, on the hair and everything, they basically just got one highlight. Well, the hair's got a double stipple, like a brown and a green, but it's not like a double highlight as such. So yeah, only one highlight on everything, which I think for tabletop quality is absolutely fine, absolutely perfect. So I am really happy how they're looking. So what I'm going to do is just get the other board out, or the next board, and I'll show you that. Okay, so this is the witches, pretty much just highlighted the hair in their stick. There's one or two tabards on the girls with the whips, but apart from that it's just the little sticks in the hair. So let's just zoom in, give you a quick close look at these ones. So yeah, I think it really does finish them off quite nicely with the little stick in the hair. So really happy with those. Okay, so let's have a look at the rat ogres stroke grotesque. I've got to get out the habit of calling them rat ogres. Maybe rat grotesques, how about that? Okay, let's get on to the next board. Right, okay, so the grotesques, and yeah, I went into the midsection, and on the tabard I basically put some sort of bone colour on each of the model, washed them and highlighted them, and I'm really pleased now because I think they are looking very finished. So yeah, let's just zoom in and have a quick look at these. So let's just move the camera around a bit here. So we've got that one with like the rope going around his belly, and then the symbol just on that one. That one there I did like the belt buckle, and well, that one's got another symbol on his cloak. There's another rope there, there's another buckle there, and the two others at the back just have something on their tabards. Let's just move these out of the way. There you go. So that's how they're looking. Like I said, I'm really pleased now. I think they look finished, and I really hope you like how they've come out. Okay, so once I'd painted all of that, I also, just move the board across, glued in the two warriors onto this raider. So yeah, let's just so I can do this. Zooming in, there we go. So we got that one there, super glued in, and then the one at the front, which is going to be holding the gun. So of course the gun is magnetised, and I have both options. So I've got the dark lance just there, and also on, not on this tray actually, on the other tray I've got the disintegrator gun. So I've got both options for that. But I thought I'd glue that in. Got basically the army ready for varnishing, which is the next stage. I do want to have a very quick chat about the bases actually, maybe give you guys some little tips, something that I do when I'm varnishing my bases. So I'm just going to swap out the board for another one. Okay, so I've got my flying bases here ready for varnishing. Because I do like to paint my flying bases. I know some people don't like it, that's fair enough, but personally I like to have the bases painted. Now, even though I am playing on a board which doesn't match my base, at least the army sort of matches in. Just not a fan of clear bases. For me, they look unfinished. But of course, the disadvantage is that when you go to varnish the bases, you've got the little flying stems. So what I do is I cover the stems, and there's two things that I do. The first one is going to be this one here, which is a paintbrush lid, just with a blob of blue tack in the top to stop the varnish getting in the top, and that just sits over quite nicely. Now I don't have many of those big paintbrush lids because I don't use many big brushes, so my alternative to that is to roll a piece of paper up and sellotape it together, and then cut it into little tubes, and then just on the top put some sellotape. Now these are really old tubes. I mean, obviously all my Necrons and my Eldar all have flying bases, so I've used these time and time again. But yeah, basically just slot them over. I mean, even the ones with the, where are we? Here we go. Even the ones with those big double magnets that I've got on there. I'll zoom in so I can show you. There you go. I've got that quite big double magnet on there. So I just make some of the tubes physically a little bit bigger so they go over the top. So I can put those on, and then I can spray varnish them, and I don't mess up the little plastic tubes. So there you go. I am ready to varnish. And once that's done, just going to put a little bit of a few tufts of grass on there, and I'll come back with the army all set up on this table like I was at the beginning of this challenge, but the army will be painted. Can't wait to see that. That's going to be awesome. And then eventually I'm going to try and take some photographs, and I'll make like a really nice showcase video right at the end. Okay, so that is it for today's update on the models, but we do still have questions. So let's have a look. Day 30. The end is nigh. One more push into the breach. For today's daily question, imagine that you are again addressing future participants in the WarbossTae Painting Challenge. What lessons have you learned? What wisdom do you wish to impart on future generations? I think I pretty much covered all of the stuff that I'd like to impart on future generations the last time we spoke about this in one of the other questions. But what lessons have I learned personally? Because this challenge for me was very challenging because, yes, okay, it was a lot of models, but it wasn't so much about the fact that it was a lot of models, because I love batch painting anyway. I wasn't afraid of the quantity of models or the hours that I had to put in. I'd already pre-planned that and put the time aside for it. But what was the challenge for me was painting to not necessarily my best quality. In other words, I had to hold back my painting. I had to assess the army as I was going along, working out what I needed to paint it to make the army look as good as I can get it, without necessarily going over the top on stuff. For example, when I painted that bone colour, I was absolutely itching after I did that first highlight to do a second highlight, possibly even a little third highlight like I would have done on my Space Wolves. But you can't afford to do that if you're under that time constraint. And yes, okay, I could have gone to all those next levels, and I could go back to the army and go in and do those extra levels, but I'm not going to, because for me, I'm really proud of the achievement that I've done, you know, this whole army basically in a month. So whenever I put it down on the table, I can say, yeah, I painted that in a month. And that's why I don't want to go back and add more details and stuff to this army in the future, because I just want to have that tag, you know, that I've got this army, it cost me £50 and I painted it in a month. How awesome is that? But yeah, like I said, the actual painting side of it was definitely a lot different to how I normally paint. Even say the skin, you know, the skin definitely could have had another 1, 2, 3 layers on the top, you know, to really make it much higher quality. But I think as a tabletop army, a tabletop quality army, I think I've done a fantastic job, to be fair. I'm really, really proud of it. I'm really, really happy with it. And I'd like to think that you guys would agree with that. Yeah, so as I said, I'm really, really happy with my challenge. It was a lot of painting. There's no doubt about it. I mean, I didn't cut corners as such, but I made sure that I put the time into the right areas to get the army looking consistent and together and like as a whole. Okay, so that's that. I have one more secondary objective here for day 29 to 31, which is, which project did you really enjoy watching this year? For many of us, we don't even have time to edit and watch our own videos, let alone get through everybody else's. Even if it's a project you have put off watching until your challenge is complete, share with us which project you are most excited about and why. Okay, so this is a hard one because obviously with this year's challenge, it's been spread out over a good amount of months. So we haven't had the free-for-all, like everybody doing it in the same month, which has been quite nice because it's intense enough doing the actual challenge, let alone watching other people's challenge. So I liked that about it. Now the challenge which I've enjoyed watching, there has been many. I mean, I really enjoyed Dockion's challenge. I've been enjoying DiceMiniaturePainting or DiceMiniaturePaintGuy's challenge. He's done a fantastic job on his what's it called? The tower, not watchtower. Thinking of what's it called? Silver Tower. There you go. So he's done a fantastic job. But the one that I'm going to pick is going to be Mini Warrior. He done a fantastic challenge. I did really enjoy it. And he's been a huge supporter of my challenge. Basically, he's commented on every video that I've done, and I've obviously enjoyed watching his challenge, commenting on his challenge. And what I've noticed about Mini Warrior, which is what I absolutely love, and what this WarbossTae challenge is fantastic for, is that Mini Warrior did the challenge last year, and I think last year was his first time. I believe. And then he went really quiet, and he's come back into YouTube for this challenge with the intention of increasing his content, not just doing the challenge but doing other stuff on his channel. And he's upped his game. He's got new sort of intros, he's got new content, and he's a really nice guy. He's a great painter, yeah, you should definitely go and check him out. So I'll put a link to all those channels that I've mentioned. Go and check them out if you're not subbed at any of them already. And there's one more challenge coming up which hasn't started yet, which I am pretty excited about, and that's for a channel called, I believe it's now called Mikey's Miniatures, but used to be Devil's Prodigy. But again, I'll put a link to his channel, but he's coming up with his challenge pretty soon, and he's also a really good painter, and just a great guy as well, so you should check him out as well. So I'll put links to everyone in the description below. Go and give them all a sub. Last day tomorrow, so check in, see these units all finished and on display on this table. Should be fun. Thanks for watching.